the fun driven aspect of what you do is fascinating, and you can tell from all your content, everything you do, that is exactly the way that you approach things. But when it came to the pressure of performing, the actual competition itself, you enjoyed the process, you enjoyed the first Olympics, etc. Talk me through that first Olympics start line. What
Yeah,
was was it a feeling of fun, or
no.
was the pressure mounting upon you?
Oh, it was pressure. Oh, it was, I can't deal with this. This is too much pressure. I'm not having fun. And I panicked a little bit in the race and made a move too early, and it cost me, a spot into the finals. But I just remember thinking, I was only 24 at the time, and I thought, God, I've learned so much through this process. If I can somehow find my way back to an Olympic team in 2012, I know I can perform better. And I did. I came back 4 years later with 4 years more experience, 4 years stronger, 4 years more prepared. And I did end up making the Olympic final in 12 and running my best time there. So it's, I was, and I did have fun in 12. Every moment of the competition, I was still nervous as hell, don't get me wrong, but I was having a lot of fun in 12. But part of that's just knowing what to expect.
Do you think it was a mistake that needed to be made on that stage for you to come back stronger, or do you think it's something you could have made in training beforehand?
I think I would have made it in competition because the world championships in track and field is very similar to the games in the way that it's run, in the prestige. The money's actually better in a world championship than it is in Olympic games. So I would have learned how to make a final eventually. I think my first final was actually the next year in 2009. I made my first final in Berlin. So like I did finally kind of figure it out, but no, the games is different because you know that there's like 2 billion people watching, and you have to wrap your mind around that. But I got better and better at putting all of that away, of putting my head down and saying, this is a 400-meter track, just like any other 400-meter track, and that's what I do. I go around it twice. That is my specialty. And it doesn't matter how many billions of people are watching. 400-meter track's a 400-meter track. It's just another day at the office, right? I would tell myself that as I was walking out. I'm just going back to the office. Another day at the office. Happens to be an office with a camera and a few billion people watching, but I tried to really break it down and not make it more complicated than it was.
It's a very simple sort of psychological technique that all athletes need to use in whatever their specialty is, isn't it? And in terms of the crowd, the pressure of those 2 billion, not to put an intimidating number on it, but the 2 billion people that were watching, if you compare it to 2008 to 2012, I assume in 2008 you were much more aware of the crowd, of that pressure, than you were in 2012. Is that
Mm,
fair to say?
Let me think about that for a second. I think I was more. I was equally aware, but I was letting the nervousness and anxiety kind of spiral me downward in '08, whereas I was harnessing that nervous energy and letting it fuel me in 12. So when I talk to young athletes a lot, their number one complaint about running is I get so nervous before races. And and they hate it. Like it's enough that they want to quit the sport. And I say, no, 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 no. That's the best feeling in the world. You want to feel nervous. You want to feel that anxious feeling because that's adrenaline pumping through your veins. Now, you can let that adrenaline wear you out the week before a race. You're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly nervous and fidgeting, and that's going to make you tired. Or you can train your mind to not focus on it and instead harness that adrenaline, that feeling of nervousness the day of, right? And so in 2008, I was so nervous for a month leading up to the games that it probably cost me energy. But in 2012, I had learned how to deal with that energy. And so instead, on the day of the finals, I'm just sitting here like ready to explode with energy. I'm so excited. I'm nervous, but it's good energy. It's energy that I appreciate, that I want, that I'm going to use to do something better than I've ever done it before.